Welcome. This is Jackie Schwartz with Planet Einstein, and today we're visiting with Stephen Spalding, who is the owner of Summer Shade Soap Company. And Stephen has some incredible, interesting soap that I'm going to be asking him about. But first, Stephen, let me ask you, what was the spark that got you interested in making soap?
Well, about a year ago, my mom started experimenting with homemade household cleaners, mainly vinegar-based solutions or whatnot. She's actually been on disability for the past 15 years, and it was just an effort to try and make our household a much cleaner, safer environment for her and our entire family. And then after doing some more research about it, I figured that, hey, we could turn that over and I could just start making full-blown soap.
Well, tell us about your soaps and what makes them unique and so special.
Well, all of our soaps are GMO free. They're completely vegan, only made of sustainable resources. And a lot of our soaps actually target specific skin conditions rather than just being like a lavender bar for the sake of having a lavender scent or whatnot. We've got a doggy soap for dogs with dry skin. We've got one that helps treat acne. And we've got a lot that just sort of range those sort of skin conditions.
Well, you were telling us that you are the only soap company that you know of that meets all these qualifications in terms of good for you, healthy ingredients.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're the only one per se, but at least none of the other ones tout that they are these things.
Okay.
And stuff. So as far as I know, we are the only soap company in Louisville that is completely vegan, GMO free, and only uses sustainable resources and all natural ingredients.
Well, share your soaps with us. Give us a little bit of a description of what they are and what they do.
Okay. Well, right here, this paw print shaped one is our dog soap that we have, and it's actually more or less a shampoo bar for washing your dog. And it's got citronella oil in it, it's got tea tree oil in it, and the citronella oil is a natural bug repellent, and then the tea tree oil is a natural antiseptic, but it also has oatmeal in it to treat dry skin. And yeah, you can use it on people as well. We recommend it for people that go camping.
You and your dog can bathe together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who, wouldn't want their dog in the shower with them? And then over here we've got a coffee bar. It's actually made with Sunnergoss coffee. They're a local coffee company or whatnot. But coffee is actually a really good exfoliant. It's high in antioxidant properties, and it helps protect against UV radiation.
Oh.
Yeah, which I didn't know until I did the research for.
Great.
And then here we have a lavender bar. It's actually got ground lavender buds in it, so it's slightly exfoliating without being too harsh on the skin, and has a lovely lavender scent.
Yes, it does.
And then here we have what we call our salt scrub. It's basically a fine grade of sea salt mixed with nourishing oils like avocado oil mainly, and some other things like hemp seed oil and jojoba oil. But what it does is it actually helps get rid of the dead dry skin on the surface layer of your body so that the oils can actually penetrate down to your fresh layer of skin that actually needs to be nourished.
And it smells yummy too.
Yeah, a lot of our product smells good enough to eat, but I wouldn't recommend that. And then over here we have actually a laundry butter, and that's not to be confused with detergent because it is actually derived from a pure coconut soap bar and stuff, but it doesn't have any chemicals in it or anything. We saw an article on the news the other day about children eating those capsules. Yes. Or whatever, and there's so much volatile chemicals in the capsules that the children have actually been dying. And you got to think, if it's in the capsule, it's got to still be in your clothes when you pull it out of the dryer, and how much of that is leaching into our skin.
So just a tablespoon?
Yep, a tablespoon per pint jar, and each pint jar is about 32 loads. And you just put the tablespoon directly on your clothes, and you don't need fabric softener or anything.
Wow, that's great.
Totally. And then we also have a salve right here, and this is basically a salve that I formulated for my sister. She has eczema and psoriasis, and so it's got tea tree oil in it again, which is, a natural antiseptic, but then it's also got other things in it that are very nourishing for your skin, so it helps actually treat the condition as well as the time that your skin needs to heal after that.
And then finally,
And yeah, that's just our salt scrub in the packaging.
okay.
So, but this is the same stuff as what's in the bowl.
I see. Well, take us through the process. You mentioned there are two types of curing. Is that the right terminology?
Yeah,
the
definitely.
soap. Okay.
Yeah, there's hot processing, which is what we're doing, and then there's cold processing. And according to the FDA, to be considered soap, it has to be a lye water product. So at that point, we would take all of our base oils, which are usually nourishing oils like olive oil or avocado oil, and then you have that set aside, and then you mix up your lye and water in just a little pitcher, and then you mix them together, and at that point, it'll start to solidify and become a pudding consistency. And at that point, if you were cold processing, you would just pour it directly into these molds, and then you'd have to let it sit for a couple days. And then when you pull it out of the mold, it would take 4 to 6 weeks to actually cure.
And how long has this been cooking?
This has been cooking for about 2.5, 3 hours now.
Okay.
Or whatnot.
So where is the next step? What do you do next?
Well, the next step is adding what we call our super fats, and that refers to just nutrient-rich oils again that are real nourishing for your skin, because when you cook anything, especially if it's organic natural material, some of the nutrients are going to be cooked out of it a little bit. And so not many, but to account for that loss, we will super fat our soap when it gets about to this consistency and stuff, and that just makes sure that you're putting oils that are good for your skin back into it so the nourishing qualities are actually retained.
Okay.
So at that point, take this here, sort of carve it up a little bit. And this is essentially just the same oil that we used as a base and shea butter. And for the base oil with this, we actually used olive oil that was infused with chamomile and lavender for their soothing properties, because this is our soap that we rate for children and babies, or any, childlike skin irritation, rashes. It's very soothing and gentle.
And mention your baby soap, because we were talking about that, obviously. Sweet Baby, is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's actually the one that we're making right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and what separates it apart from our other soaps is we'll, at the base oil for the other soaps, we'll essentially just use pumice olive oil, since we're cooking it, and then maybe some coconut oil, whatnot. But if you don't blend coconut oil properly with other nourishing oils, it'll actually contribute to drying out your skin more than moisturizing or nourishing it. And so what we do to compensate that is we will actually take organic lavender buds and chamomile, and we will let them steep in the oil for at least 2 weeks. And so it's drawing out all of those properties into the oil base.
Well, and you mentioned one other thing to me that I obviously did not know, which was the difference between essential oils and fragrance oils.
Right, yeah. We're going to be using a lavender essential oil to scent this one, and not very much. Normally for any other batch we would use more, but because it's rated for children and people with sensitive skin, we don't want to add any more additives that could possibly affect the skin, more than we need to. But what makes this essential oil is a fragrance oil is a synthetically refined scent. It's derived from oil, but it's not actually natural and organic at that point. It's been tampered with too much. But essential oil is basically just the actual oil that is derived from the petals of the flower. And stuff. So it's all natural, and like we were talking about earlier, it's got a lot more earthy of a scent to it, whereas a lot of these fragrance oils that people do, they'll pick it up and it's like what you think lavender should smell like, not necessarily what lavender actually smells like.
Okay.
And right now we just got to keep mixing it up until all the shea butter is actually melted down. And you see how it's shiny right there? We'll need to keep mixing it until it becomes more opaque, because if it's got any shininess to it, that means that the super fats that we added to it aren't properly melted down and mixed together.
All right, we're back. We've just added the essential oil. The lavender smell should be coming to you through the camera. And Stephen's getting ready to put the soap into the mold. So it looks like it's just about there.
Right, when you add the essential oil to it and the super fats, it'll have this glossy sheen to it, and you want to mix it up until it has this sort of opaque look, and you can just sort of pick it up and it's solid like that. Still hot, but once it's opaque, you can just go ahead and put it directly in the molds. And I'm actually going to use the spoon for this because it's more of a Castile soap, which is an olive oil based soap. You know, it doesn't get as liquidy as it would if we had added a bunch of other oils to it. So it's definitely not one of our prettier bars, but it is probably the safest to use, especially if you're concerned with allergies or anything like that.
And this was the Sweet Baby soap.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And it's weird, according to the FDA, there are certain stipulations. We can't technically label a soap as being like an acne soap or moisturizing soap or anything like that, because it would be considered a cosmetic drug.
Oh.
So we have to have obscure names that are still a bit revealing to what it actually is, like Sweet Baby.
And then this will sit for how long, Stephen?
This will probably sit for about 2 hours, and then it should be hard enough. Yeah, and I can tell just packing it in here that it'll be ready in about 2 hours. And we can pop it out of the mold, and at that point we'll want to keep it, just let it cure for at least 24 hours, and then we'll put it into this thing back here, which is just our soap cutter. The whole loaf will fit in right here, and then we'll just slowly bring it down and we'll cut it into even bars. Alright, this one's probably
That's
good.
what makes this uniform shape for you, and precise cuts.
Right. Which makes it convenient for packaging, and, you know, uniformity is something to be strived for in any sort of business.
Did we mention your recyclable packaging on your soaps? I thought that was a nice touch.
No, I don't think we did, but yeah, you know, because we're trying to be a health benefit for not only people but the environment as well, we thought that we could extend that into our packaging. So the packaging that all of our soaps come in are actually biodegradable, they're made of recycled material, and they're compostable. So you can literally just take it and throw it in a composter, you know, when you're done using the soap, if you have one.
Well, we're just about finished packing the soap into the mold, and one of the things we want to do before we leave you today is tell you where you can get Stephen's incredible soap. So tell them where they would go to find your soap, Stephen.
At this point, especially if you're not within the city, I would say your best bet is to get on summershadesoap.com. It's our website, but it also has a full online store where you can just do the whole shopping cart feature and check out, and shipping is included in the total price. If you are in town, you can find our soap at the Bardstown Road Rainbow Blossom. They carry, I think, about 10 different kinds of our lineup, and we have about 13 to 15 in our lineup. And then otherwise, if you happen to be out on Saturday morning, you can find me at the Bardstown Road Farmers Market, at least through the holidays, and that's right off of Bardstown Road and Deer Park Avenue.
Speaking of the holidays, this would make a great, unique, well-appreciated gift for family and friends. So thanks for being with us today to watch our video with Stephen and Summer Shade Soap Company, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.